Hey guys, welcome to Paul's Corner for this week. This week, Tom asked me to talk about hopes and fears for the future. So, hopes and fears, what do I think will be good in the future? What do I think might be bad? So there's a lot that we could talk about because the world at the moment is changing a lot. And for the last couple hundred years, the world has been changing a lot. Computers, cars, modern farming. We went to the moon. Humans went to the moon. Lots of technological changes which affect us and affect the world. So, in our changing world, what are some hopes and fears that I have for the future? Well, we can start with climate change, global warming. So that is a big issue, a big topic. For example, I fear that Florida, the state, one of the 50 states in the U.S., Florida, I fear that Florida will go underwater. The ocean will cover Florida. This is not up for debate. This is something that will happen. So I'm afraid that it will happen, and it will happen. And I am also afraid that the U.S. government will not provide help to the people in need, or they won't do a good job. I'm afraid about that. However, we also live in a very wealthy society in the United States, and Japan and Korea also. Both are societies with lots of resources. So that gives me some hope that we might be able to, build some walls or at least give help to the people whose homes are destroyed by rising sea levels. Let's see. We can also talk about agriculture or farming. I think this is very related to climate change because it is about how we treat the earth and how we treat our soil or our dirt. The dirt that we grow our food in is important. Agriculture, hopes and fears. Well, I fear that we will continue to consume as much beef as we currently do. I fear that we will continue to eat cows a lot. There are currently 2 billion cows on the planet Earth, which is too many. We're feeding 2 billion cows so that we can feed 7 or 8 billion humans. It is very inefficient and it is bad for the environment. I think that we should eat very little beef. And that would be a good change. But I fear that we won't change that. But I do have hope because chicken is a lot more sustainable. Beans, even bugs. You can get protein from bugs. So there's a lot of ways that we can get protein, even if it is not sustainable or good for the environment to eat beef. Let's see. Another issue with climate change is transportation, like vehicles, cars and trains. So my fear with transportation and climate change is that people will continue to rely on cars to get everywhere. To go everywhere, people will drive cars. This creates carbon dioxide in the air, which increases global warming. So I fear that people will continue to drive lots of cars. However, I also have hope that people could rely more on buses and trains, especially trains, because trains can be electrically powered, I think. Is that how it is in Japan and Korea? Like electric trains? That sounds cool. And buses, you know, there is much less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere if more people are on fewer buses instead of everybody having their own car. So, yeah, basically, with climate change and global warming, I fear that we won't change our habits, but I have hope that we can and that we are able to. Cool. Thanks, guys.